has a button that says order on it. That's on the table. Now, the back says this. So you know what the story's about. It's, they're trapped at school. The clocks have stopped. They can't remember what happened. And a friend is dead. Oh, wait. You know what? It says that that's a school frozen in time. That's a different story. My bad. I thought it was a synopsis. Okay. So, we'll find out what Rent-A-Girlfriend is. So I'll start on the first page for you, okay? Sorry to kind of delay there. Alright. In this comic book, on the first frame, we kind of see her. That girl I was telling you about. She's kind of upset. She's in a glove and she looks like to be in a bricked hallway. And the narrator says her name is Sumi Sakurazawa. She's a freshman in college and cute. Okay, so she's a college person. The second picture has a picture of like this old man in a suit, but it's like the cutesy chibi type with like 3 loops in the ear area. Kind of looks more like an animal. I'm going to designate in the spotlight, he says. And the narrator keeps saying she has a rather extreme case of stranger anxiety. Yet she faces up to her problem on a daily basis. Sometimes she conquers her fears and sometimes she loses to them. Then we see a picture of a sky at the bottom. And their narration continues. This is the tale of a young woman as she struggles with life, adversity, and some truly extreme shyness. Now, the next page says, rating 1, Sumi and donuts. So, the first picture is a picture of kind of like a building, the back of a building, like a restaurant or a shop. Then we see a picture of birds chirping on the railing or on the roof. Then we see a sign on the next picture with kind of like a rectangular bow with the chopsticks. And it says, banner, women with courage. On the lower right picture, we see a picture of an animal. I think it's a dog. So, it's a very big, fluffy dog that kind of looks like a bear. It's a dog that looks like a bear, and it's all white, and it's lying in the grass sleeping. And in the photo next to it, it's a picture of a phone. And it's an email. And the email says, from Diamond Rentals to Sumi Sakurazawa. Congratulations, you received a new date request. Please check the date and time and reply with your availability. Customer username below. We don't really see that far. Alright, so we see a picture of the girl zoomed up, taking up the whole page, and she looks kind of shy, but at the same time a little bit frustrated, a little bit angry at something. And her mind says, today I want to eat an angel French donut. And she looks kind of determined to do this. Then on the next page, we see her lying down on her rug with a pillow. She looks a little sad. The couch is behind her and it has a blanket over it. I'm sorry, a bed, not a couch. And then she has like bookshelves with a bunch of objects to the right and a little hanging plant next to her window to the left. Then she says in her mind, oh, I want one so bad. I've got to have one no matter what. The dog's name is Inkstone. And we kind of she must have rolled over the bed and fallen, because there's a little part that says crash, and now pat pat to the dog. Okay, in the picture at the bottom we see a bowl with a donut that looks like a flower, and it says Angel French is a variety of donut offered by a certain famous national chain. One bite and your mouth is bathed in happiness by the fluffy donuts sandwiching the whipped cream inside. Yeah, I could totally tell now it's like a whipped cream sandwich donut. Okay, on the picture to the right, we see her still on the floor in grass with a coat and short black pants. I don't know if she's munching into anything, but she's definitely shaking. And she's like on her knees and elbows, staring down well, she's facing the floor, but she's not staring at it. She has her eyes closed. And she thinks, I know it. I just know how good an angel French tastes. The next window has her looking at something. She still looks a little frustrated in this picture. A little angry, but still shy because she has blushy cheeks. And it says, I want one. Then we see a picture of the sky. And it says, and I don't care what anyone says. She must have been yelling at me. Alright. So right here, we can see. Okay, so she's walking in the town and she's passing stores. Then the next frame shows pictures of girls laughing and talking to each other. And then she starts shaking when she passes them. And the people are saying, so then the teacher said, and that's all she could hear. Then we see a picture of the girl Sumi sighing with her eyes closed. She goes, phew. They probably thought that they were talking about her. The next picture shows a woman, another young girl, just coming up to talk to her, and she shakes. Oh, it's a worker from a store, because it says, we're giving out free coupons. And it zooms back into Sumi's face with her eyes closed. And she's sighing in relief again. She goes, phew. She keeps on walking through the city, and there's like people walking up and down. And she just keeps going. Then she sees the sign of the store called Mr. Donuts, and she stands in front of it in the next picture. In the next picture it shows that she's smiling at the sign, and she goes, and she starts to blush because she says, oh, I just smiled. The angel French to come is already making me grin. So she opens the door and gets in, and she starts thinking, get it together. There's no telling what may happen. This town is a battle zone. And she's kind of sighing to herself again. And she looks around and she goes, oh, what a nice smell. Let's see. Okay, the next frame shows her. The shop people are just waiting in line so that they can take their donuts. And then she comes up behind them to wait in line. Two groups in line, she thinks. Good thing it's not too crowded. I can handle this. Now she's basically either hearing sounds or she's singing to herself, because it says swivel, ba-dum, swivel. And she's looking over at the donuts and she thinks, where's the angel French tray? She looks over at the different donuts through the window there, all the different flavors and stuff. Oh, here we go, she thinks. She sees the tray with the angel French. That is 140 yen. But then in the next shot, her eyes kind of go white and wide. She's in shock. The next shot shows like a background with her she's like really shocked about what happened with the angel French, because there aren't any left. It kind of looks like it's raining in the background, but it's not really raining, it's just a reaction. And she thinks they're gone. They're gone. The angel French are all gone. And she has a few tears in her eyes. And she thinks, but oh well, the staff works so hard to bake them, so what now? Order something else? No. Today, it has to be angel French. So, in the next picture here, she's crying as she stares at the donut rack, and then there's like this little kid, I think, that basically says, hey, what's up with her? Is she crying? She turns around and kind of like sees the people behind her in line, and she starts walking away, and she thinks, I'll just go. Then she bumps into a guy and goes, huh? And then internally she's screaming, ah, because she's been really close to people. Now there's someone in front of her in line, and then there's someone behind her in line, and she can't get past them because there's like those barriers on either side of the line that doesn't let someone go a different way. So she thinks, I'm caught in the line. I'm caught and I can't get out. And she wants to cry. And tears are coming out her eyes in the next shot as she stares at the man. I have to keep up the act, she says. Well, she thinks, gotta look like I got something to order in mind. If I leave the line now, people will think I'm weird. So, she wants to blend in with the crowded looks. The cashier looks at her and says, can I help you? And she's screaming internally, so there's like a second head coming out of her as she stares at the cashier as she does this, and she goes, ah. And I don't want anything besides the angel king. So the cashier smiles at her sweetly and goes, oh, don't worry, take all the time you want, okay, miss? And she kind of grins at her. And so she has like a cute face in this next shot, and she is like a little blushy, but she still looks a little sad at the same time. And she goes, ma'am. Then we exit out of the building, the donut shop. In this next shot, she's carrying a tray with a donut and a drink, a hot drink. So we see people around her carrying their own stuff, and one is thinking she's cute, and another is thinking, how cute. Let's see. Oh, there is a sign that says that whatever she has on her plate is brown sugar and cafe au lait, and it's pointing at the coffee. She has coffee. Then she sighs in the next shot with her eyes closed as she walks with the tray. And she thinks, oh, I was panicking there for a moment, but I made it past the cash register. She keeps on going, but which I now think is her mind. Good thing the lady was so nice to me, she was thinking, but the real battle is just starting. And I had a picture of her shoes, looking down. Time to choose a seat. And she's looking at different seats around the donut shop, but she also sees like a detective looking guy at the corner having a cup of coffee and whatever donut he has there. If I want to relax while I'm here, this is the biggest issue of all to tackle. And then she gulps. She looks upset. there's a side view of her just staring straight at the seats. Bar seating. That's what the sign says in the corner as she looks over at the booth tables. And then she thinks, these are usually open, but someone may always sit next to me if it gets crowded. Then they'll be so close to me. And she kind of stares at the bar seat. And she looks at the table seats with the booths. And she thinks table seats are divided up to keep people a given distance away. They're safe at first glance. But they've got a surprising trap. She looks upset at these seats. Then she looks at the entire donut shop altogether. She sees the people moving, sitting, and eating. They provide a commanding view of the space. You can't focus. There's no telling when you might look into someone's eyes. But sitting on the chair side facing the window is just unnatural. It draws attention to you. She's also looking very closely at one table with a seat, and there's no one there. Then the next shot zooms into her face while she's smiling as she's frustrated. The only answer is the table next to the column. It seems to be kind of hidden, even though there's like people nearby. And she keeps staring at the tables. She stands behind the table with the chairs down. She goes, face the wall and you won't have to look at anyone. And if you lean on the wall, you'll be super far from the guy next to you. I'll go with that. There's the next photo of her feet moving, one foot in front of the other. And the next shot has the word gasp, and her eyes are wide and her mouth is open. And she's staring at that corner table in the aisle again, and she thinks, wait, what lies on the other side of the column there? Could it be? And it's a cliffhanger for the next page. Oh, so she comes up closer and then she sees a man at the other side of the table, and he's on his phone while he's eating some sort of donut with a coffee. The man looks at him with a bored face, and she looks back at him with a smile. But she's like panicking on the inside, so her eyes are still kind of wide. Oh no, she thinks in her head. She's kind of screaming in her head, so they have a picture of her screaming with sweat running down her forehead. She turns away from the table as she closes her eyes, walks, and she thinks to herself, I have no idea what face to make at a time like that. The seats on the other side are all full. I can't do a silent about face. They zoom into the side of her face, and she's frowning and looking down, kind of sad. And she keeps thinking, and I know to this customer I'm being a huge pain. She starts moving around, and there's another customer saying, what's with her? She sets her food down at a different table, and she thinks, that was a close one. Let's just take a stool. Way too risky. This one's open. And then clink, which is the sound of what the table and the tray makes whenever she's putting down the tray. There's a sip sound, and it's of a guy that's walking behind her. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so the man, he went to sit at a different part of the table at the other side of the column, which is kind of like a hidden wall. It shows her face again, close up in the next shot, and she's smiling, but she looks like she's wide-eyed and dying on the inside. She sits on the stool now with her foot in front of her, and then there's a little says Catan. It zooms in on her face while she smiles and stares straight ahead at something. Her hand grabs the handle of the coffee, and then she brings it up to her mouth with a smile and a tear in her eye. She looks like she's really nervous. This is fine, she thinks. I'm always like this. They just keep showing pictures of her on the stool, and she has like a blank face expression, and she's staring at the donut that is in front of her plate, and she thinks these things. And the bar stools are great. They're empty. I can see outside. This is fine. I've always liked this anyways. And if that guy can enjoy that seat in my place, isn't this just great for everyone? But then there's a picture of a cashier. The cashier. And then she yells out, "Fresh Angel French donuts are now available." And there is a clank sound of her putting this stuff down on the table, and she has wide eyes because it's the donut she wanted. The next page has a really big picture of her that looks like she's a little scared and freaked out. She has wide eyes and her mouth is open. She's blushing, but she looks a little bit sad. Okay. So first, it shows like she has like angel wings, and she's floating from her chair, and she's going towards the cashier. And she thinks, "What?" And there are two people that are just like staring at her at the corner of the room. No, near her table. Not the corner of the room. It was the corner of the square on the book here. And they're thinking, does she ever chill out? It goes back to the donut on her plate. And her donut was heavy, and part of it is kind of like all black for some reason. So now she's staring down at it. Continuously staring. She doesn't even know what to make of it. But then you see on the next page that her expression is positive, because then she says, "It's so cute." And on the top it says that she's staring, staring, staring. Now on the other side, she grabs a donut. So I assume that she went to buy it, right? And is sitting down with the donut again. So she grabs it with her hand, and she thinks, well, here we go. She brings it up to her mouth, and you can still see the caption, "Badum, badum." Alright, then she takes a bite of it, and it shows her mouth just taking a bite of the donut, and then it shows her eyes crying tears with the caption, "Bois." Then it just shows half of her body, her upper body, where she's biting into the donut with the tears. And in big letters you see the word "so lovely." Okay, now she's holding the donut in her hands, and it looks kind of ripped off because she took a really big bite. And in her mind, she's thinking, one bite and you can tell the soft, aromatic dough, the sweetness of the tongue, and the sugary whipped cream melting in your mouth with each bite. There's a picture of her side view where she has her elbows on the table and she's holding onto the donut. She's chewing and tears are falling on her cheeks. And she thinks the dough's calculated for the perfect shape and elasticity. says, "Now I'm glad that I came." It has a back view of her taking another bite of the donut on the table, and she thinks, "I'll have to come back soon." Then there's a sign on the side that says, "Sumi Sakurasawa, age 19, freshman in college. Height 5'1.5". There's a picture of her still eating the donut enjoyably, and she is quietly going. There's more signs talking about herself. So it reads: birthday March 20, blood type 0, sign Pisces, personality shy, has a communication disorder. Now the next 3 pictures show that she's finished the donut and she was sucking the sugar off her lips and slurping. She's also taken the cup of coffee and she put it to her mouth and is now drinking it until it finished. Then she took the donut from the plate and is holding it in her hand. Now there's just one final picture where she is eating a second donut, and she has her eyes closed and she looks like she's enjoying it very much. You see the last sign that says jobs, and her job is rent a girlfriend. And the last thing that she thinks before this book ends is, "And the bonde kokuto isn't bad either." Well, she's enjoyed a donut, and I guess she plays like a fake girlfriend for people that ask